He's Stonebraker and he does stuff, yeah. Feel the hum of the wheels out there. Not perfect, but he dares to dream. Hit that subscribe, make that bell scream.
What's up, YouTube? Stonebraker does stuff out here, giving you a quick introduction. So I am either at the beginning, as you can see, or the end of the Kickapoo Rail Trail. Now this straight ahead eventually is going to be finished just like this, and it's going to go probably another 15, 16 miles. But I guess we're going to call this the start of the Kickapoo Rail Trail. We're going to go through a couple towns, and I'm going to shut up. Let's get on the bike. All right, we are off. So first thing I'm noticing, this is some kind of sandy substance that they've got on this part of the trail. When I was headed out here, I've never been on this part of the trail before, so I know there's a couple different trailheads, and I wanted to try to find a trailhead that was like right at the beginning of it. I didn't want to start like right in the middle and then have to go one way and then turn back around and go back again. So there's really not a trailhead here. Had to park up here a little bit. We'll go by it shortly. There's a little park I parked at, and there's a sign that says like no trespassing, no parking. It's a goddamn park. How can you not park at a park? It has the word park in the title. So I'm assuming that means for like overnighters and semi-truck drivers and karate champions, not middle-aged e-bikers like myself. So hopefully when we get done with this, my bike is still there. Yeah, I'm interesting though to kind of see this, because I'm pretty sure this is what you're gonna get. It's just a flat road. I don't think there's any turns, but I think we do go through about 3 towns. So always new to have something new, somewhere new to ride, I should say. I guess you could say it's new. I mean, this part of it's new. Like I said, this is the Kickapoo Rail Trail, so I've ridden on it quite a few times at the entrance that's a little bit closer to my home. That is the biggest turd I've ever seen. Hopefully you guys did not see that big turd right there. I'm convinced that came from a dinosaur, or at least a saber-toothed tiger, because that thing was huge. So I'm pretty comfortable today. It's 1:43 p.m. and February 15th, 2026. It's like 50-ish, mid-50s. In a couple hours, it's supposed to warm up to in the high 50s. So I tried to wait as long as I possibly could to get out here, but I didn't want to wait till like 3 or 4 o'clock. So we just got another long sleeve. This is a really thin hoodie though. And then I got the cheap gloves on. I didn't have the gloves on at first, so I parked up here and had to go to the bathroom. So I rode the bike to the dollar store, which is up here, and hands were just a little too cold. So I had to go back and got my gloves on, and pretty comfortable here. So village of Ogden, I think its population is like 850 people. So you know a town is small when it's not even a town, it's a village. So far the trail's in pretty good shape. No cracks or bumps, or pretty smooth ride, but you know, we're just getting started on it. And somebody is barbecuing, and it smells amazing. Oh, wait a minute. What the hell? Is the trail not completed up here? Wait a minute. Is that the trail? I am so confused. I mean, obviously there's been some work done, but is that the, oh my God. Sure, why not? There's no way this is the trail. All the videos I watched, I did not see this. I don't know, maybe I had to turn or something. I don't know. I just don't feel like this is part of the riding trail. I mean, obviously it's something, right? Maybe this is a part of the trail they've not completed and they've got this far down. I do not know. Oh man, I didn't know I was gonna be roughing it today, boys. Oh my God, about lost it. Anyways, well, I guess we're too far into it now. Let's just keep going. There's a big stick I'm gonna run over.
Several bad puns later.
Oh man, oh yeah, did you hear that? I ran over a big one. You know what, let's I'm gonna do some investigation. Let me see if this is even it. So it'll be a few minutes for me and probably like 2 seconds for you guys. Let me do some investigation. All right, so I ended up just walking the bike down that whole path. And after some brief investigation, I realized that that is unfinished. So it's also unfinished there. I'm getting on the big main road here. Probably not safe. And yeah, I lost a mirror. So I just noticed that. Oh well, I'll just buy a new mirror. So yeah, e-bike mirrors, 1, Atom 0. And I'm gonna need to go a little faster here. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I'm definitely not, I shouldn't be on this road right here. But I should be pretty close. All right, so it says we're about 2 miles away, so we may be okay. I'm gonna go ahead and throttle a little bit. Yeah, what an interesting start to the video. Lost a mirror, trying to ride on a road I shouldn't. Now I'm on a big road I shouldn't be on. I am keeping an eye behind me. Speed limit's 50, I'm going 25. I just do a little pedaling. No one's behind me, so I can pedal for a bit. And I've got some like GPS, Google Maps going to take me to the trailhead. So hopefully it's taking me. Now the good news is, it's a loud freaking train. But the good news is I do see this is St. Joe, so I am in the town, which is good. This is a nice little town too. I remember back in the day when I was in like 7th grade or whatever, one of my good friends, his mom was thinking about moving here. She had gotten married to my cousin, and I want to get off this road, so we're going to take a right. And I think he lived here. And I remember going here quite often and looking at the houses and thinking, wow, these are really, really nice. Make a nice thumbnail right in front of that little pond right there. Let people pass me. Get back on the road. All right, so according to Google Maps, here in 0.4 miles, I'm gonna take a left. Okay, so I see a part of a trail there. So I'm gonna get on that ASAP before I end up RIP in the state of ILL. All right. So we know here is a trail, good. Okay, and there's no trail there. Okay, so we know that's at some point where it's gonna start. All right, I think we're safe now. So I am now finally back on the Kickapoo Rail Trail. How I'm gonna get back to Ogden without taking the crazy road and possibly dying, I do not know. But we will worry about that when we get there. And I don't know, maybe this is the path that's 6 miles. I am not even for sure. But we're gonna get a longer ride than I thought today. And I'm gonna keep my hand off of the throttle. So here's like a small little trailhead, I guess, with some parking. I will remember that. So trailhead behind Casey's. That is noted. Hi. All right, so I'm in my comfort zone now. Passing people, saying hi and getting positive replies. That's good. Look at that big boy. So I asked one of my coworkers that lives in St. Joe if there was any place that was good to eat at. And she gave me this place right here, the Wheelhouse. So I may check that out on my way back. Got a legit biker here. Hi. All right, so it looks like we're coming up on some little bridge. I don't know if it's passing a railroad. I don't know. You know, this is all new to me. So, hey, there's the GO tracks. All right, let's see if we can. All right, let's get a Salt Fork River crossing. I might as well say Stonebraker does stuff thumbnail. Let's get one real quick. Let's see how that looks. But this is a nice ride here now that I'm actually back on the trail and not riding through the pits of hell. I feel like this trail would be fantastic to ride in summertime when it's really hot out. I think it would be cool to ride as well once it's completed and you're not having to do bits and parts. I should have did more research. I would have avoided, look at all this mess right here. My God, I could have avoided that whole process. I probably should have just started in St. Joe, which is where I initially was gonna start, and then Google actually took me to Ogden first, and I was passing through and I saw there's a trail there. I'm like, wait a minute, let's just start there. Well, yeah, I should have known. Like, I've read so much about the trail and like parts are done. This is left to be done, but I didn't know there was still, from St. Joe to Ogden, there was still that area that needed to be completed. I thought it was just need to be finished at the part we started at, but no. Learn something new every day. I love the smock wheel too. I know I've talked about that, but it's just so smooth to ride. It gives me no issues. The torque sensor is, granted, I've not had a whole lot of experience with torque sensors. I've had 2 bikes with them, but it's just smooth. That's the best way I can describe this bike. And I think it's currently on sale, by the way, or it was on sale for $16.99. So if you're new to the channel, or for somehow this is your first time seeing me on the mock wheel, even though it's the only bike I have right now, yeah, you can't go wrong with it. It is the one e-bike, and I've said this in plenty of videos, it's the one e-bike that I will not sell. You know, I'm gonna get the Velotric Nomad 2, which is comparable to this. It's, you know, probably maybe a little better. It's got the cadence and the torque, and it's got the comfort stuff, even though this bike is so comfort. But I'll still keep this one. I've been talking a lot about bikes and what bikes I want to buy and what bikes I'm looking into. And it seems to be every bike that I've had interest in has been a 4-inch wide tire e-bike. I had a Velotric, not Velotric, I had electric, I think it was an XP2. So I bought a XP or an XP2 about 2 years ago off of a dude for $400, and I was excited because it was an electric bike, and I had heard, you know, fantastic things about electric and their customer service, and I saw it was priced $400, and I'm like, okay. So I went and looked at it, and it was kind of in like crappier shape than what the guy made it out to be. There's some ice. Oh my God, really? Oh. Oh my God. Oh. Just about lost it there. Why is there just random ice on one spot? I don't get that. But I just about bit the dust right there. I had to put my leg out and steady myself. But I had bought that electric XP, whatever it was, 2.0, and like I said, it was kind of in like crappier shape. The tires were not very good, and it had a basket on the back that was falling apart. It was okay, you know, for $400. I test rode it, and it was what I expected, but had 3-inch tires, and I rode it for probably 3 or 4 miles just to make sure, because I knew I was going to sell it. Like, that was the whole point of buying it. I wasn't going to keep it. So I didn't like the 3-inch tires. It just, I know it's not more ice and water. I know it's not a huge difference between the 4-inch tires and the 3-inch tires, but I felt a huge difference. I just feel like, even though I mostly ride on paved trails, I just felt like with the 4-inch tires, I'm getting more impact. And it just feels like more, I'm trying to think the word I'm looking for. Like, I don't want to say like more I'm in control, but I just feel like I have more grip on the ground, and I just feel more comfortable. So I've had a few people like mention a couple bikes, like, hey, I know you're looking at bikes. Have you looked at this bike? And I'm like, well, I haven't heard of that. So then I look it up, and like, it looks cool, you know, 750 watt, big battery. And then I look at the tires, the price is good. And I look at the tires, and it's like, oh, you know, 20 by 3. And I cannot get myself to buy a 3-inch wide tire. Maybe if I had one and I just rode it a lot, I would get used to it. I'm sure I probably would, actually. But I don't know. I feel like every tire that I buy, whether it's going to be a 26 by 4 e-bike, or if I'm going to go with the 20-inch e-bike, I'm always going to look for the 20 by 4 or 26 by 4, unless there's like a huge bargain, or unless it's something that I see one locally or whatever, and someone's got it cheap, and I just buy it to sell it. So I just can't get myself. You guys that love the 3-inch wide tires, even the lower tires, like I know a lot of people are starting to get into like the 2.7, and I've seen a lot of videos about the Discover 3 or the Discover M, the Velotric that just released on the 10th. And I know those aren't even 3-inch tires, and everybody loves that, and I'm sure I probably would too. It's got everything I like: upright riding position, You know, good battery size, decent battery size, 750 watt motor, I do believe. And I think it's even got the trigger shifters instead of the Mickey Mouse type of thing. But I just can't get my mind past the concept that I don't like anything other than 4-inch wide tires. I'm stuck in my ways, and I probably will always be. But you never know. Never say never. So if you are someone that knows of a awesome bike that has an upright riding position, that is, you know, maybe a adjustable stem, maybe it teaches you to speak Spanish, which would be a luck of the draw with that idea, let me know. You know, I want to be careful too on this ride because I don't know how many miles. I don't have Strava pulled up. Like, I kind of have an idea of the miles. I don't think I'm going to run into any issues, but you know, I got a battery to think of in my GoPro. Luckily, I did bring the other battery in my little, damn, there goes Speed Racer. I did bring another battery in my little front bag, just in case this battery ran out. I brought it basically because I was afraid the SD card was going to jack up. So I know I should have enough to get here. When I get here, I'll check the battery and everything, make sure we're good to go. If I need to swap it out, I'll do that. Oh, sorry. So she moved before I could do the traditional on your left. I get a lot of joy out of saying on your left. I don't know why. All right, 2 miles. 2 miles from what? I don't know. But we'll find out here. So when we get up here, I will go ahead and check the battery of the GoPro. I'll make sure everything's still functioning properly. I'll put my Strava on my phone so that way I can get an idea of the miles and all that good stuff, because we have got to be probably about a mile. I'm assuming that's what this sign right here is going to say, 1 mile. And then I think we're going to come to a trailhead. Yeah, this is it. All right, guys, we have reached the, I think this is probably technically the starting point. I think that guy's got an e-bike. Let's go see if we can make a conversation with the dude. Oh yeah, we're in Urbana. I know exactly where we're at now. Does it go this way? No, it doesn't go that way. Yeah, fellow e-biker with electric. All right, guys, we're gonna finish the video with some post audio. So this was a super long ride. I had 96 minutes of footage just on this part. I tried to edit it the best I could. I probably should have done a little bit better job, so I apologize if this was all over the place. I'm pulling into this Walmart. I'm gonna drive down this sidewalk. Dude I saw on an e-bike in part 2, when I post part 2, you're gonna see him in it a little bit. But guys, thanks for watching this video. A new trail, always nice to get on a new trail. I learned my lesson. Make sure I research completed trails so this doesn't happen again. But as always, thank you for spending your time helping me waste my time. And this is part 1. I'm going to upload this. Be on the lookout for part 2, and I'll see you in the next one.